It is time for ultimate test. We're gonna compare all best 3D AI and best local free setups to see how good it really is for geometry, textures, or best platform. In this video, there will be no sponsors, only objective comparison. We'll see if paid 3D AI actually makes sense and whether they can stand against free local setup. And for that part, I asked my friend Philip from Pixel Artistry to bring best local setup with Trellis 2 from Microsoft, and we'll see if it can beat the paid model. There will be no mercy. Let's start. Okay guys, I prepared quite cool references. It will be characters, heads, objects, plants, and we're gonna start with Tripo. I like Tripo. They do quite a lot of updates in their workspace, which they recently updated, and it's much more convenient to use, not gonna lie, and it actually works faster. But the question is what quality it gives. As usual, you can use one image, you can use multi-view, and today we're gonna try to achieve the maximum, so it will be mostly multi-view. As easy as it can be, you can just select multi-views up to 4. Then we have settings such as ultra and standard. So basically, if you need more details, you choose ultra. For simple objects, you could go with standard. It's not that bad. It's actually also very good. For textures, there is 4K option and PBR. So for all my generation, I'll use pretty much this setup. We will not go into Smart Loop Poly. If you're interested in right topology, there is another video where I compared topologies specifically. Take a look if you didn't yet. Here we try to get as much details as we can, so there will be millions of polygons. Not sure if it's worth to show mesh at all. As you can see, there's like a lot of polygons. It is extremely dense, and here's the results. These sneakers. All right, so what do we see? Okay, compared to the reference, actually interesting, right? So the shape is fine. It doesn't do like the hole there, but the overall shape is okay. The springs here are not metal for some reason, but well, there should be metal. The material loses some gradients here, but it's still a little bit. So this one, not bad. Next, a scarecrow. Okay, it is quite good, I would say. 3 fingers, 3.5, right? Okay. On the reference, there's like clean 4 fingers, and here we see 3.5. Bad. But overall, it's okay. It's okay. There's like 4 fingers here, by the way. Okay, so yeah, we can agree that's a simple model, and I like it. Like the fingers that are obviously bad, can say nothing. Next one, the bust. Okay. Well, to be honest, I like it. I think the material choice is a bit weird. It like tends to make everything a bit glossy where it should not be, but it's not bad. Like, just don't get me wrong, like it's quite interesting. Personally, I really like it. I didn't expect like to get nice faces. This one, like. Next one. Okay, the metal goose. Oh, it's interesting that I see this like black thing, but it's like because of the HDRI, it's basically just metallic as it can be. It is actually very interesting. It made it like metallic. The details are quite good. Well, you can see, I am actually impressed. Let's actually export it and see how it looks in Blender. Okay, so here you can see in Blender, it's different. It's like, it's good. Right, the plants. I intentionally chose this one with thin lines and stuff to see how connected, disconnected it is. Like for example here, of course, that will fail. Too much details, like failed here, of course. Yeah, and yeah, the failure here. What's here? Well, yeah, doesn't put any soul here. Why do we need it, right? Overall, it's way better than I expected. Moving on. And Luigi. Okay, so what do we have here? We do have 5 fingers. Wow, I think that's cool. Look, the thing is that this area usually have quite a lot of artifacts, but it's clean. Wow, it's actually good. Like a small artifact here, but it is good in one go. Well, this is actually good, and usually when we do it in one go, it loses details, and here I think it's fine. Now, how much this costs? Each generation is around 30 cents, which is a fair price and one of the lowest, which is definitely good. But it's too early for the conclusion. Let's move on to the next 3D AI. Next in our list, of course, favorite of all times, Union from Tencent. Also known as Hi 3D, they recently did rebranding. So what do we have here? We do have Chinese version still that has more options such as 3D Studio, right? I mean, you can use it like just translate the website. For 3D Studio, you might need to apply the waitlist. There's also global version, which is right away in English, but there is no 3D Studio. But they recently added 3.1 there, which is already good. And they also dropped the API. Everything in Studio now available on API, their official API or any aggregator such as Fold.ai. Now, what do we have here? Single image. Just drop an image and do a generations. We do have control over poly count, just 4 options, not much. We can select the model and we can select whether that's just geometry or geometry plus texture. And crazy 8 view multi-view support. We'll see if that actually works. I do not have all 8, but I can assure you that it doesn't really affect the quality. You using multi-view if you have, let's say, right and left side, some unique thing that you need to be reflected in 3D. For simple models, there is no reason at all to create all 8 multi-view. It will not make it better. It might actually make it worse. So use it on demand. Once that's done, just press generate. Let's take a look on the results. Here's our sneaker. Okay. So it is clean, but I see it actually starting to mess it up a little bit. I think our previous candidate was a little bit better in these areas. Well, it tries to make springs as springs, but they're also not metal, right? Again, here's the reference. Yeah, the colors and stuff, it actually lost more colors than, for example, Tripo. We'll see how other will do. But the inside part is actually okay, like it's almost like until the end. Cool, next one. Scarecrow. Let's take a look on the fingers. Oh, whoa, guys, what do we have here? We do have exactly 5 fingers on both hands. I think that deserves applause. Anyway, what else do we have here? I think the colors are less vibrant. I don't know how to say, a bit dull. But overall, okay. Ooh. Actually not bad. Well, the materials in this case are very close to the reference image. This one I like. This one is good. Next one. Clockwork Duck. Who's that? Goose or duck? Also quite nice. The metal here is also good. Maybe a bit less reflective than we just saw in Tripo, but still, that's actually very good. Maybe that should be like this. I mean, let me know in the comment which one you prefer. Some inside area is so dark. If we take a look on the Tripo one, I think I like this area in Tripo better. A plant. Okay, let's see how many disconnected parts we can find here. Oh, look, each flower is connected. I almost thought like it is good, but no, this one is like connected twice. What about leaves? Okay, like some weird leaves here. Okay. Oh, but I think it actually created like less leaves, but more or less accurate. And yeah, this one is a disaster. In Tripo, it was like more logical, but yeah, no soul today. More or less. In Luigi, don't ask me like why there is like A here. I mean, copyrights and all that stuff. Okay, 5 fingers. Even though the fingers like quite melt, fingers are not distinguished, but 5 at least. I think what I saw in Tripo was more interesting. And look at this strange line here. You can see like this line here, and you can see like this strange line here. There's some artifacts from texturing, and you see a line here. This happens like almost all the time for more or less big models, and that is annoying. It's like pretty okay, but this artifact's not okay. I know many of you like Union, but you see what you see. What about prices? Well, it is free. For now, it looks like at some point they will start charging and there will be no 20 generation per day. And if we check API prices, for example, smart topology, which is great, but it costs almost $1 per one smart topology. Compared to everyone else, that's the highest price right now. So guys, be objective. And guys, if you want to compare them by your own, I created free tool for you where I uploaded more than 1,000 model generated by my own that you can compare in blind test. Vote and see what tool created it. You can see the leaderboard. You can see how much it costs per generation, how much time it takes. You can compare tools of your choice, let's say Trellis 2 with the newest Highsim 2.0. See the difference, compare them side by side in different mode, and find the best fit for your needs. And it only costs you one like. Yeah. Hit that button, please. Next up, we do have Rodin. These guys have most convenient multi-view drop. So you basically just select images and voila, you don't need to select them one by one. Just drop as many as you want and start creating model. So you create a model and you have plenty of options here. I think the options it gives is a lot. You can partially redo. You can local modify. Basically, this is like not a banana, right? You basically select a region, you type something and it will change it. You can redo that, but it also can change it. You can redo a whole model. You can split the model into parts. And the coolest thing here is you are not charged unless you press confirm. And the confirm is also quite big. You can choose quads, you can choose trees, and you can create a smart low poly, which is quite close to what Hunyon does. A sneaker. Okay, so the colors more or less here. Oh, look, it is almost metal here. Can't see anything inside. We need to change the shade. Oh, but there's nothing here, right? The result is okay, not great. Luigi. Okay, with a letter on the cap. What do we see here? 5 fingers, not bad, not bad. Don't see much of artifacts. The shading is interesting. I mean, the face even look okay. Some artifact here only. Yeah, and something with ears, as you can see. I would say higher than average, which is not bad. A scarecrow. Okay, here we go. 4 fingers, and this is actually right. Don't get me wrong. The reference image has 4 of them. So Onion created 5, which is okay, but it should be 4. But I think overall, he doesn't look that detailed as we saw. So again, I would say okay, bit more than average. Here's the detail about the head. This part looks more destroyed. It's not really following the reference. It should not be that much destroyed. And this part is way too much clean. So a bit flat. And the interesting thing that if we remove the material, it didn't create this destruction. Look, the mesh is actually absolutely perfect. That's probably not what I expect. There's quite prominent damaged skin and it should be reflected in geometry. This one, don't like it. Goose or Dak? Dak or Goose? Anyway, now we see the poor materials, right? It's sort of baked metallic, right? But it's not real metallic. So we can enable PBR and we can see some reflectiveness. And well, more or less, I think the duck actually comes up really good everywhere. Yeah, I mean, the duck is good. Maybe not that much details here, but I think I like it. Okay, we go with plants. Let's see how many parts disconnected. Oh, well, I mean, it's very weird structured. This one is fine, tall, without soil, of course. I'm curious, if any will actually add some soil. I mean, that's logical. It can be like this, right? For this part, bad. And now our special guest who spent quite a lot of time figuring out all that comfy stuff, running all the local models, my very good friend Philip will show the best local setup for 3D AI.
So hey guys, my name is Philip from Pixel Artistry, and as Stefan already mentioned, I will take now the models that we compare right now in this video and I will type them through Trellis 2 to show you as well how it's behaving with using an entirely free workflow on your own local machine in ComfyUI. And for this workflow, I'm using here, of course, the Trellis 2, but I'm using on top of the mesh generation, I'm using the Trellis 2 mesh refiner. And I will start directly. And of course, we have then here also the texture part in the end. By the way, in case you would like to see the whole workflow covered, please let me know down below in the comments, because this is an improved workflow. In case you would like to know how you can set up Trellis 2, make sure to check out this video here where I will show you step by step how you can set up Trellis 2 to in combination with Ultra Shape, for example. But coming back to our example here, I'm using here the first example that we have of this bust. Most of the time Trellis 2 is better with single view, so I will keep it like this. And for the settings, I will just use here the 1024 cascade resolution. You could also go higher, but most of the times this is already giving a really great resolution. And only thing I really need to do then, once I uploaded it here, is just hit run. Okay, great. And once the workflow run through, as you can see, this is our result. And I have to say, I'm really impressed by the quality here. It's giving us a really good texture. And you see that also all holes and stuff that we had before with Trellis 2 are fixed. We can also just look at the model quality itself without the texture. And you will see that it's actually kind of clean. So I think this is really cool. It's also capturing his face details quite well. So I think this is really amazing. And yeah, definitely give it a go. And now we're also going to test the other models with this workflow as well. All right, next up we have the scarecrow. So let's see how it turned out. And as well here, I think it did a very decent job. Hands are looking great. Overall, I think also shape details and the texture as well looks really nice and delit from what I can see so far. So I think this is great. Also, when we look at the model detail, you can see this is also great stuff overall, and it captures a lot of details. We have no holes. It works overall. So I think this is also really great and yeah, cool to see. And this is then the result from our duck. As you can see here, we have some small mess up with the texture. I think this is also because we use 2 images now. So yeah, this can sometimes happen, and you can see that the structure of the duck is here a little bit like, you know, we have this facet look. Let's take a quick look at the normal, and here you can also see it a bit, you know, that it's not smoothed out. But apart from that, I think it still did a quite decent job, you know, also with the mechanic parts and stuff like this. So definitely cool to see that. Next up, we have these flowers over here that are hanging on this kind of box over here. And I think it also did here overall a really good job, as you can see, with all the details we're getting here. So I'm quite surprised like how well Trellis 2 did it here. Just to have a look as well here for the normal view. As you can see without material, it's doing a quite decent job, I would say. Yeah, definitely also really nice to see that. It also did here a decent job. We get here some texture artifacts with the black holes kind of, and her ears are a bit screwed up when I see it correctly here on the texture. So yeah, these are the only flaws. Apart from that, I think looks great. Here is the final result of the sneaker, and you will see that it's doing an okay job overall, I would say. Of course, it could be improved for this one, but when we look now at the model structure over here, we will see that we get quite some nice details in here. Shoelaces could be a bit better, but overall I think it's doing also a decent job. Yeah, even though we have some small like mess ups over here. So yeah, and of course overall when we look at the top view, we can see that this is pointing out, and this should definitely not be, and this is because of the missing like good multi-view feature of Trellis 2, I think. All right, and now back to Stefan.
Next up, Item 3D. Recently, they were bombing with updates, guys, for real. Portrait 2.1, image to 3D relief, Blender plugin, which is actually good. And they also announced some online tool coming live soon, so interesting. What do we have here? Again, we have general, image to 3D, multi-view to 3D. We do have portrait, image to 3D, multi-view to 3D, version 2.1 here, and general goes to version 2.0. And 3D relief is a separate thing. We'll not test it right now. For the bust, I will use portrait, of course. And for everything else, I will use general, multi-view, version 2.0, resolution max possible. Let's start with Luigi. Okay, so it's not that great, to be honest. Item is known for a lot of details. Sometimes it starts to create more details where there should be a smooth surface. And what is this weird thing? Well, it's nothing like this on the reference. And I also saw that the bigger the object, the more focus it starts losing and start adding details where they probably should not. However, 5 fingers here and here, which is good. Version 2 is updated texture, so they're trying to not bake in light and stuff, which is actually not bad. Okay, so we do have some problems here. Like this part is not as it should be. It's not springs at all, and the colors I think not that good. So for the texture, I think it failed. What about the shape? Shape here failed, but I see like the laces are prominent and overall shape is not bad. Scarecrow. Okay, this guy look better. 5 finger. Okay, so this guy is better. And look, the details here is actually not bad. Like, look, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, I mean, in terms of details, sometimes it gives like really amazing result. Like, look at this part. Okay, so, and even this part. It is really good, like, what I using this for high poly base to bake it on low poly model. Also, they do have free retry, which we like, and retopology, which is still in beta. And you can also send it to 3D print, download in multiple formats, share and get some credits. Overall, pretty good basic package. Actually, Mr. Deck is really good. Look, okay, so the material is nice. The shape here is not exactly what it should be on the reference, but in terms of material and in terms of like some details and like textures here, interesting. And the head is actually interesting. Like, let's take a look on the geometry. Ooh, like you see, every piece like this is done with geometry. So I would say, okay, good attempt, but the only problem here is not following references. But in terms of details, it's pretty nice. Let me know if you disagree with me and if it's bad. Plants. Okay, no soil, of course. Why should I actually expect soil? How bad it is connected? Unclear. I think bad. Okay, bad. Yeah, the connection to the flower from the backside is so-so, but the leaves themselves, if we ignore like some disconnected one, look sharp and interesting. Like the leaf themselves, like this leaf, boom, 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 boom. Not bad. Like if you look from far, it's okay. But yeah, I mean, I would say more or less, but definitely not better than anyone else. And the portrait. Okay, so this one is interesting, right? I think it added some stuff here that it shouldn't. Like it's a fantasy that's like more or less destroyed. This part is not bad, I think. What do you think? And some piece created here. I don't know why. Maybe something with the reference, but no one else created it. So this one, okay. And that was item. What about cost here? Generation is more expensive than average. 0.5, 0.6 USD per one generation, including 3 free retries. Let me know if that's worth it. Next up, Meshy. Ooh, Meshy. There is a lot of ads. You saw about Meshy, right? And I know why. Version 4.5 was not impressive at all. And I have proof year ago when I compared that, I really disliked it. But there's plenty of updates and I think they improved. Image to 3D, batch images to 3D. This one actually is very useful. You can basically drop up to 10 images at once, like that, and run the generation. To be honest, I really want this feature everywhere, especially for me, so I can compare them faster. There's also text to 3D. I don't know who used that. Completely useless thing as for me. So we're gonna use multi-view. It's very inconvenient. You're gonna need to drop main reference here and other references here. Why is that so complicated? I don't know. And you had to read this instruction to understand that you don't duplicate the reference here. There's also low poly mode, which we'll not review here. Again, you can go to Top 3D AI and check it out, or there's another video where I compared it. The license, the pose for characters, but it can be cool sometimes if you have character not pose at all. You don't need to go banana, you can just use it here. Press generate. Generation usually happen in 2 steps. So first it gives you a geometry and then you go press texture and here you choose the reference and create a texture. Right, total it takes 30 credits, which equals around 70 to 80 cents, which is expensive. So we should expect like a good quality. And today it's the first one who created springs as a metal springs. You guys said to me that this is complete bullshit, but they actually do something and I think they improving. It does follow the reference. The materials here are not that rainbow stuff and thing, but the shape follow the reference. This shape here is also following the reference. Inside part is a bit shitty, not gonna lie. First, I think failed. It thought like it's sort of a metal or something, but it's not. Like, let's just check the shape. Well, shape is also so-so. This one, not good. Let's take a look on Scarecrow. 5 fingers here, 5 fingers here. Haters, where are you? But in terms of like details, not much of details. Like, I mean, yeah, you can see the difference, like, for example, with item, right? So like the amount of details here, and there. You might say like, just like different amount of polygon, maybe it's like 300K. That's not small amounts. Okay. So, okay, generation. By the way, they do have retexture, edit texture tool. Like you can edit a part, you can put some stuff on top of it, like decals and stuff, like quite detailed one. Like if you want to know more, there's also a video about it on my channel, of course. There's the Luigi. Okay, like let's go to the PBR preview. Okay, 5 fingers, 5 fingers. Ooh, we are going really good today. Okay, so what about the mesh? The texture is not broken, but it's still sort of simple, right? Actually, I start like to seeing like a lot of artifacts. The artifacts here, plants. But this is probably the most disconnected plants. The first time I see it failed to actually connect it in one line. What's that inside? Ooh, it's some sort of liquid. I don't know what's that like. Okay, and the plants are green. They should be white, right? Depending on the reference. So bad. The Mr. Duck is actually most successful prompt as for today. Yeah, the inside part here is like darker, but it is like almost closed. Okay, so if we take a look on the reference, is there a tube? There are no tube here, right? So this one is completely added. So there's a mismatch with the reference image, but it looks accurate and like consistent. So of course it's no. I think they still need to improve a lot, and the price is quite high. But compared to previous version, this is at least something, and in some cases it really can give nice results. But let me know what you think, guys. Guess I think you might be more critical than me here. And last but not least, Vivo 3D, also known for highest resolution of the textures, like 8K, can you believe that? And this one is most expensive of all. But here's the thing, there is Arena on Top 3D AI and it's completely unbiased. There is thousands of people every day using it. The interesting thing is that right now there's more than 60,000 votes. And Vivo is top 1 for 3 months in a row. How is that possible? Let's take a look. So it is known for extremely detailed textures, which works exceptionally good for some organic stuff like this. If you ask me if this is good and cool, I would say this is like a drag and drop to Unreal Engine. This is a ready game asset. This is really indeed cool. But let's take a look on our examples. What options do we have here? We do have image to text, or we can upload our model. Why? Because we can texture it here. In image to 3D, you can drop one view. There is no multi-view support for now, but they promise to deliver that very soon. And there is extremely cool tier like Ultima Prime, super mega cool. So yes, we're gonna use this, of course. We're gonna choose auto poly count, let it decide like which is the best for us. It works quite nice. And of course, we're gonna go 8K. There's also quite interesting settings related to textures, which means that eliminates any environment light, texture adherence, which might work actually very well. And there's also inside out texturing for some complicated stuff, extra credits, but like better texturing result. We don't really need these settings right now. The only settings I'm gonna use is only textures, and I'll see if that works. Here's our scarecrow. Okay, so if we zoom, we can see that the texture itself tries to be cool, right? Let's say look at this hat. Wow, you can zoom and you can see like the leather texture, right? Oof, cool. The face looks not bad. Okay, the wood part here, yes. 5 fingers, not bad. And whoa, wow, almost perfect 5 fingers here as well. Okay, and the feet, this is not bad. This is interesting. The texture is rich. Maybe I'm a bit not happy with the geometry. What about sneaker? Okay, so the metal part is here. The shape here is okay, but it's like it decided to make it quite dark. What about the reference? I think it's justified by the reference, but it would be cool if it added like more visible details. Inside part here is failed. I think in this case, you just need to enable this setting and it will definitely fix this one. In general, good, but a bit dark. Perhaps need to play with settings a bit more. Okay, so Mr. Duck is not metallic, and this happened because I actually choose this unlit texture. So if you do that without it, it actually can make it more metallic. But for more control, this might be an option. Here, what I see, it actually followed the reference right. So you can see the wings are the wings, not adding anything that not exist on the reference, which is actually good. A plant. Okay, so no soil, things are quite disconnected from here. Okay, at last, flowers are white. Expected. These guys claim to be very good with textures. I need to be honest, the flowers are like these 3 flowers, 4 flowers, 5 flowers are disconnected, but leaves are almost all connected. So yeah, this one is disconnected. I don't know, 50-50, I guess. Not bad attempt. So, and also the leaf texture, it looks very good. I mean, for AI, it looks very interesting. This is a failure. This one is not bad. This one. Okay, moving on. Our bust. Okay, what do we have here? This part is actually interesting. Maybe it's even good. But what it created on the back is a bit terrifying. Like, yeah, I tried it like to make texture look interesting. This is not what makes it interesting in this part as well. So this one objectively failed. And Luigi, well, I mean, this AI is definitely not for cartoons. The face failed, right? The texture, however, is way too detailed, I would say. 5 fingers, 5 fingers. Okay. This is the richest texture I've seen today. Like, basically all the textures are quite rich in terms of like, it's like it tries to make this like look at like a jeans, right? Even though the reference is way simpler. There's flat jeans texture on the reference, it adds way more properties. So yeah, this is what this 3D AI is about. And of course, let me know in the comment if that's bad or good. And now it's time to make some conclusions. This part will be a bit subjective as I need to define best geometry, best texture, and best platform. Let's start with the platform. This one is very difficult choice. Most of the tools are very useful. I like Tripo, there's a lot of tools there. I like Hightom, they building really cool things. For example, Blender plugin is one of the most useful, but so far Rodin is the most impressive in terms of the options. And I also like that, for example, in Rodin you can drop your own model and edit it. I mean, geometry editing. That's quite cool. And another thing why I like it is that you can do up to 50 redo before you confirm and you are charged, which is actually very user-friendly, as I said before. Now, for geometry, it is also quite difficult. I really think they are all more or less on the same level. My top 3 will be Tripo, Hunyon, and Hightom. Hightom gives crazy good result with some complex geometries, like this one for example, but it might fail with simpler, while Tripo might do an impressive job on some simple one, same as Hunyon. But also Hunyon can sometimes simplify where I do not expect it to be simplified. It's like it tried to make everything smooth. Version 3.1 tried to address those issues, but still compared to others, like it's smoothing things. So no clear winner here. And for textures, there will be 2 winners for me. For PBR and details, definitely Vivo, because since I saw really impressive results. And for overall texture quality, I will go with Tripo. The most recent update is really good, and this is definitely the most metallic duck for today. And quite accurate as well. To answer the question if free flow is better than paid, that is question not for me but for you guys. Let me and Philip know in the comments, we'll definitely read them all. And that was all for today. Like and subscribe, see you in the next one.